Murat, can you tell us about the relationship between EXFO, the company, and Qosmos, the software?
EXFO is a service assurance and test company. We provide solutions to both wireless and wired service providers as well as the network equipment manufacturers. We've been quite active in the telecommunications world for the last more than 25 years or so. We have over 2,000 customers all around the world. The solution belonging to Qosmos is the software component that we use in our wireless analyzer products, primarily to be able to for deep packet inspection capabilities.
So whereabouts in the network does all this live?
Qosmos as a solution reside in our analyzer product. We use our analyzers to be able to monitor wireless networks at different tapping points. We can look at the radio access network. We can look at within the core network, and throughout different parts of both core and the RAN, we'll be able to tap those particular interfaces and be able to monitor both user plane as well as the control plane traffic.
What's the difference between the user plane and the control plane?
The control plane is when the device uses to communicate with a particular network, primarily for signaling purposes. It authenticates, registers itself, and initiates a session. Whereas the user plane, especially in terms of when we talk about data applications and data services, are typically the TCP/IP protocol stack and all the applications which are running on top of it.
And so what happens is you're troubleshooting and pinpointing and tying things to applications and devices in the network?
EXFO itself has a long history and tradition of products which are quite capable of looking at the control plane. We consider ourselves leaders in that space. When it comes to user plane, our product needed higher performance as well as deeper analysis, and that's what we get from Qosmos in terms of the ability to look at a particular application. For example, you'll be able to look at, say, a customer doing a YouTube session, and then furthermore looking at what kind of codec they use, and even looking at the particular video and looking at the duration of that video, how long they watch the particular video sequence.
In the main then, your customers are service providers, network operators, telcos. What about the OTT players that are coming into the market now?
That's definitely an interesting play. I mean, so far the OTT players are obviously looking at the network as if it's a given. They consider the quality of experience to be a problem of typically the wireless network service providers' business, actually wired as well. And but we believe that is going to eventually change. And there's also potential that the line between OTT provider versus a network service provider is going to be blurred more and more. And because we see Google making forays into being a service provider in the US, and also, as we know, especially the wireless service providers have big ambitions to be replicating the success of the over-the-top providers.
There's also a lot of heavy emphasis and focus in the industry at the moment on cloud. Where do you play into that?
Cloud providers will still be serving, obviously, the customers who are going to be consuming those cloud services through either wired or wireless networks. Particularly in the wireless network case, the quality of experience is heavily dependent on the quality of that wireless access network. And we believe the cloud service providers need to be able to work with the wireless service providers to be able to discern the details of it, the levels of quality customers get, and why, for example, a particular user happens to get a level of quality in one network versus the other. I mean, we have seen in many cases a particular device works in one operator's network one way and quite differently in another. And in many cases that turn out to be related to either the radio access network or the core network characteristics of the service provider.
And what about for the future? Where do you anticipate EXFO and Qosmos being in a couple of years' time?
The biggest thing is you realize with the advent of TCP/IP and Internet for the last 16, 18 years, in the applications arena, the amount of progress is tremendous. So not even this concept of over the top is actually is a result of the advent of Internet and TCP/IP protocol stack. So we believe there will be more applications, more companies coming up with more innovative solutions in the future. And the ability to look at the characteristics of protocols and applications is going to be a constantly evolving and an essential thing for companies like ourselves. So we expect Qosmos to be able to keep up with the progress in the application area, and so that they'll be able to adapt their solution with the changes in the signatures of the applications or the new applications coming up, so that they'll be able to adapt it and provide us a timely update so that we'll be able to serve our own customers.
Murat Bilgic, thanks very much.
Thank you.